It has come to my attention that we have come to that point in time where Generation X, my generation, it's our turn, apparently, our turn, to brag about how great our generation is. The trouble with that is, you didn't get to pick the time that you were born. That's just the time that you were born. Every generation that there is thinks that they were the best generation. In hindsight, that was the last time for this, and then we had to go to the well and get water in a bucket, and we, as if that was a great thing. It was just part of your life. That's the point that you were born at. I'm gonna knock Generation X because I can, because I am a quote unquote Gen Xer, end quote. The first time I think that I ever even heard this labeling of generations was the early 1990s, and I want to say that I saw it on a Pepsi commercial. I was like, what is this Generation X crap? And that's what it is. It's crap. I guess there are people that got to have labels for everything. And who arbitrarily picks these numbers? Well, the cutoff, was 1958. You were 1963, see, so you're... It says who? Now, there are some funny parts of every generation, really, of life in itself. You just got to look for them. And I've seen some funny stuff coming down the pike, we had helicopter parents as Gen X kids, They'd helicopter you in, kick you out the door like a paratroop. It was like a special forces unit, Tuck and roll and be back before the street lights come on. And then they flew away in the helicopter. That was our version of helicopter parents. That's funny stuff. What was hotter, the surface of the metal slide in summertime or the apple pie that came from McDonald's? Both the equivalent temperature of the actual sun in the sky. Seems to me, though, most of it is just the time that you were born in, which you had no say over, and the accomplishments in society that most likely most of us didn't have a hand in. And then you can turn and say, well, Gen X, we were the last generation that didn't have all the screens and the phones and all that stuff, but we invented it. Did you? I didn't. I didn't have a single thing to do with that stuff. Matter of fact, I fought it off. I still fight it off, but I fought it off until 2010. I got a cell phone, a flip phone, because I don't want to have that chain, that tether. Anywho, of basically feral kids that went and played all day, and I'm just going across the street to Bobby's house and I'll be back around dinner time, if he even said that much. Usually it's the parents kicking us out. I'm tired of you being underfoot. You say you're bored, get out of the house, don't come back till dinner time, make sure you're not late for dinner time. Yeah, because we're a close-knit family. Come on, man. That was the last of that. The trouble with that is, by and large, Generation X might have been the coolest this and the toughest that, and they didn't care about this, that, and the other. But by and large, you're pretty sucky at parenting. Everybody wants to bash on the kids nowadays, society and these kids. These kids don't want to work, and they think everything's just going to be handed to. Who raised these kids? Wouldn't it have been Gen X that went to, what was the next one? I don't really keep track of this crap. Was it the millennials, I guess? Around 2000, I suppose. That seems reasonable. And then it went to what? Gen Z or something? And it's just the downgrading of society. All things trend downward. Who's parenting these kids that suck so bad? That everybody has a say, no, you can't find work ethic. And you can't. Who is the parents? And Generation X got the shaft because before them it was the quote-unquote boomers that thought they were so great. The boomers' time for celebrating themselves is never going to end until they all die, because they ain't letting go. They ain't letting go of the third house on the beach until they die. They're not getting out of the CEO seat at the company until they die. I mean, maybe they will if they're going to be a consultant. They ain't letting go, man. Tim Dillon has some hilarious stuff on that because it's all true. Be that as it may, Gen X just, okay, well, the boomers ain't going to let go of their celebrating themselves. So now it's our time. We're just going to inject that into society. And they have. And so now you're starting to see all this Gen X was the greatest because, just like those before them, just like those before, it's all a bunch of fluff. The greatest generation? Are you kidding me? I mean, you had the greatest economy. That wasn't any doing of yours. Most of them guys were so shell-shocked after World War II, they just spent the rest of their lives numb. Keep your head down, do the work. I don't even know how to function in society, so I won't say anything. The boomers had to deal with being scooped out of society for a couple years and thrown into a jungle in Southeast Asia. They're all jacked up, came back on dope, and not all of them, I know, but I'm just saying, well, how good of a parent is that going to make? Let's ruin your childhood or your transition from childhood to adulthood with some activity in the jungle where you may or may not be killed. Seems reasonable. That'll make a fit person for society and a parent. And so then along comes Gen X. We didn't really have, I mean, it's been constant conflict and make-believe wars, and they're the enemy and we're the good guys, you know, because we said so. But not a World War II / Korea / Vietnam type, you know, massive combat here. The guys that were in it wanted to be in it. There was no conscription. So that part was pretty sweet. So then you focus on the modern day life at that time. Oh, we were the first ones to do this, and we were the first ones to have printers in our house. You didn't do anything for that. It's just stuff that came out. I mean, some of you did. It's just the stuff that came out through society. It's not like this personal achievement. And that's what all these generations need to understand, as far as I'm concerned. You're celebrating what? That you were born in a certain time period? You had no say over that. It was just the gleam in daddy's eye and mama's willingness. I mean, let's be honest about it. But I'll sit back and enjoy the Gen X stuff, because it does make me think about when I was a kid. And man, I hadn't thought of that in a long time. And it's funny, as long as you view it as funny. I don't think it's the boomers really took it to another notch with the, in my generation. Yeah, we know. And if we didn't, you're going to tell us about it, I know. And so apparently that's the trend now, to keep that going. I'm just going to laugh at all of it. You weren't very good parents, Gen X. What's up with that? Just saying, man. Hey, thanks for watching. If you got any comments about the generationals, put them in there. I always enjoy reading the comments. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.